Okay, so Pam is here and she's going to talk about her experience with the Love Your Body Again blueprint. And Pam, I think I'll kind of do like the first question I'm going to ask you. We'll just attack one question at a time instead of me saying, 4 or 5 questions in a row, and then you have to just talk forever. So, and then we can do like a question and answer period at the end too. So we'll give you about 20 minutes to talk or whatever, however long it goes, 20 to 30, and then we'll leave 10 minutes at the end, okay? So for everybody here, Pam joined the Love Your Body Again Blueprint for the 12-week program, and she was actually I coached her a couple of years before this, before the program became Love Your Body Again, when I was doing coaching and when I left my gym and I started coaching at home, and I had to develop. This has been a development for a couple of years, but she joined before this came about. And so I would love for you, Pam, to kind of talk about your experience or like your backstory, like your history with like maybe fitness and exercise and your mentality behind it and what you used to do, and maybe talk about the program that you were on before, and then kind of compare it to why you started this program now. So just kind of go into your history first, and then we'll
Yes.
get to the next question. Okay. So
Okay.
I'll just pin you here so that everybody can see you. And the reason why I have Pam on today, not because she did well, because she did really well in the program, but because she went through a lot of shifts, right? A lot of breakthroughs in
Yeah.
the 12 weeks. And that's what it's about. And I think a lot of people are kind of going through the same thing, or even if you've just started the program, you may be wondering, well, what's it going to look like in the next 12 or 16 weeks? Like, am I going to be able to do this? What's going to happen? How am I going to feel? And she's kind of going to shed some light onto the motions that you'll go through, and it's not always perfect, and you'll go back and forth and whatever, but then you'll have these breakthroughs and you'll come out really strong in the end. So yeah, so Pam, if you want to just maybe introduce yourself quickly and then just tell us kind of your backstory before you came to
Sure.
this 12-week program. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm Pam, and I am going to be 56 this year. So when I first met Shauna, that I think it was close to 4 years ago, probably when you first started, 3 to 4. And I did just a 3 week. I thought Catherine, who I don't know if everybody knows Catherine, um, I'd seen a huge change in her, and she was never a big girl, and she was young and energetic, and started working out with Shauna and doing this program, and got me interested because I wanted to be in good shape, and I thought, oh, I don't need to lose much weight, so I'll just do this 3 week thing and continue from there. And I did. I did the 3 weeks and worked great. I got down to my goal weight and thought I could do it on my own after that. Not that Shauna didn't give us stuff to do, but I just thought I could do it on my own after. And the 3 weeks was perfect. I was good for maybe 6 months after that, and then I kind of fell off track and thought, oh, I can still get back on. And then by the time November hit of this year, I had packed on the 10 pounds I lost plus 5 more pounds, and realized I needed to talk to Sean again if I really wanted to make a change. And I did. Everybody's here because we really want to do it. So that's when I started in November. Uh,
Yeah, so the difference between then and now is like back then when I changed from my gym to at home, I never had people on long programs. The only long programs I used to have people on were when they wanted to do photo shoots back when I was coaching at the gym. Other than that, it was like, well, yeah, a couple of whatever you start and you stop whenever you wanted to. And I never had that like commitment. I never asked for that commitment from people until I started realizing that this is why my photo shoot programs used to work so well, because they need this long to be able to change mentally and physically, and the body needs to go through a process, and habits need to be formed, mentalities need to be shifted, lifestyle needs to be gotten. And that's why I changed the program to have that solidified 12 or 16 weeks, right? So going into the program then, how did you feel?
Well, of course, I thought I did not need 12 weeks, but with a little bit of talking, I thought, okay, well, I'll do it and see the difference. And it was a huge difference this time. I realized how much I needed the longevity of it to really build a routine. I also didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do any of these groups. I didn't want to get into the buddy system, none of that stuff. I'm private and I'd rather just sit behind the scenes, but I found it really helped to get into our groups and talk about our foods and cheer each other on. It just now I'm getting into you, Shauna, but again, you just promote women so well, and women, you know, helping women, which is great. And then as far as we cheer each other on. Everything you say, I fought tooth and nail. Like I didn't want to do 12 weeks. I thought I could do less. Every time you told me to up my weights, I'm like, no, you know, I'm gonna I'm gonna become bodybuilder or something, which is hilarious. But I'd never believed you when you said we need to up your weights, Pam, up your weights. And I'm like, no, I don't need that. And I was stuck at the same weight for a while, which was fine, but I did want to lose more. And you kept telling me, if you want to lose weight, you need to up your weights. You know, you've done your repetitions up. Now it's time for weight. And that was a big breakthrough for me. So listening to you helps. Just a lot of stuff in the program, which will come to me when I stop babbling, because I'm jumping back and forth. But I also wanted to say too, when I started this, it wasn't just the weight. I didn't have a ton of weight to lose, but my blood pressure was through the roof. I was 170 on 110. And I've always been somebody whose weight affects the blood pressure. So I was on blood pressure meds and all that stuff. And I mean, it changed within 8 pounds, my blood pressure started going down. So again, that's a bonus of it, that keeping it down, because it did happen previously and I knew that and I kind of ignored it. And so definitely it's helped with that. But as far as the 12 weeks, you need the consistency. I needed to be accountable to somebody, and this made me accountable.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that, and especially like with the part about the weights and stuff too. Like, and you said that you don't want to become a bodybuilder, and a lot of women are scared to lift heavier because they think that they're gonna just get jacked.
Yeah, and then I thought I'd have flags.
Well, look at your arms. Like, your arms are toned, they're sexy, they're nice, they're, you know, they fit your body. You're not this like jacked bodybuilder.
No.
Because that would be completely I'd have you overeating. I'd have you in a calorie surplus if you wanted to do that, right? So that's not going to happen. And then you said with your blood pressure and stuff like that, that's a reason in itself to do something longer than just 3 weeks, because that those habits need to be formed. The nutrition needs to be dialed in on and tightened up so that you can really focus on you from the inside out, right? It's not just the physical appearance. Yeah, that's great, that comes with it, but from the inside out, yeah, mentality, but also like, what is your body looking like, you're acting like inside, right? So you must have felt really relieved when that came off. Like, did you go into the program expecting or wanting your blood pressure to go down?
I kind of thought that was a side note, because I am vain. I did want to be thinner for sure. And I knew that the blood pressure was an issue. I was just shocked at how quickly it came. Like, I mean, 170 on 110 is high, and I'm down to like 130, 120 on 90, 85, 90. So it's familiar. It runs in my family, high blood pressure, and I like it's great again. And so that's the reason also to stick with it. But again, it's just everything that whole, I needed the 12 weeks. I can see bopping in again for a little 2-week tweak once in a while. 3-week, who am I kidding? 2 weeks. You always try to shorten it, but you can't. But, and then just everything that you teach, like learning the nutrition. It wasn't simply, okay, I need this much protein and this much carb and all of that. I know why, like what it does to my body and just, yeah, science, chemistry. I think we all need to know why we're doing what we're doing. So that was important.
Yeah, exactly. The why, right? So would you say is your biggest takeaway in terms of what you learned, maybe, or your top couple of takeaways, what you learned over the last 3 months?
With the food or with just with the exercising is it's nothing. It's 20-30 minutes and there's big leeway. Like I can do 4 days or I can do 6 days. It depends on what I want. And I like the cardio. You enjoy it. We got out, we get to enjoy stuff. Food wise, I really didn't recognize how important, the protein was and the types of protein, the types of carbs. I had no idea. I just always thought it was pasta and rice and bread. I didn't realize that, the pumpkin had carbs in it and this and that, but the good carbs versus bad carbs. And not that they're bad. And again, you've had teaching on why carbs aren't bad and what you need them for. So I think it's just everything you teach it's empowering to us all to be knowledgeable about what we do.
Yes, definitely. The why behind it, not just, okay, do this, and then you don't know why you're doing it. Because if you don't know why, then is it going to stick? Right.
Yeah.
So, what do you like? We'll get to like how much weight you lost and all that. I don't think we touched on that yet. It's not as important, but
No.
what do you think? What would you say to people that are like in their 50s or older that think like it's too late for them to lose weight or get fit or whatever? What would you say to those women?
Excuse. It's just a big excuse. I mean, I blame the hormones. That metabolism slows down. I looked for every excuse under the sun, but it's an excuse. And I think we can all come, even, not to knock it or anything. I don't want to offend. Oh, well, I've just had a baby. So of course it's going to, like, I think that we do look for excuses. It is harder, no doubt, when you just have a baby and you're busy and lack of sleep and you're picking off their food and stuff. Like it's easy to see why we can gain, and then I can say it's hormones then and it's hormones now, but really it's just effort. It's effort.
Yeah, you've nailed it. It is effort because it is your responsibility to actually get results. You're given the proper tools and the system that can work for a long time for your life. This is a system you can use for life, but it is your responsibility to take action on it and actually put in the effort and do the work, right?
Yeah.
And so going forward, okay, tell everybody what were your results in terms of weight loss? Because I know people like to gauge it in that sense. And I'll show them your picture at the end. Maybe you can describe even what you saw in your body as in terms of changes along the way too.
Yeah. Well, I was never huge. I was up to 132 pounds, which I'm like 5'4", small boned. And again, my blood pressure has always been very funky about keeping my body a certain weight. So I went from 132 to 118. My old weight from the time I was 19 till I was 47, I truly was 110 pounds usually. So just small increments, but losing the weight, I always wanted a tiny waist. And so as much as, I did lose 12 pounds, 13, I'm not good at math. But I wanted a smaller waist again and just to look toned. So the numbers, I got fixated on them, I got to admit, but really, I think it was when I was about 122 pounds, I'd said to you, I don't even care if I lose anymore. I feel so much better. I like the way I look. More weight would have been a bonus, but truly, I just felt better at that point. And I thought if I stopped now, it's okay with me. But and then I went for the extra pounds, weight-wise, lifting and stuff. And then I dropped off a bit more. And then I'm happy with it. I'm happy where I'm at. And I know how to maintain it. And I trust that I can maintain it this time with doing it for so long. Because truly, after I was halfway through, I was almost at goal weight. It's here and there. But then I kept it going, and that was the part that proved that I was dedicated to it. And again, the support of everybody going on, like I said, everybody's too busy to have time to go onto Facebook and check up. But it was something I enjoyed doing at the end of the night, was to look on Facebook and see where everybody was at and what their goals were, because it clicks you into, maybe that's what you should be. Oh, okay, everybody's focused on water. Maybe I should be focusing on water. Or Tasty Tuesdays, and what kind of recipes do we have, and what's easy. And if I wanted to plan my meals, I could go back and look at that and go, okay, here's some recipes. There's my week done, easy and good.
Right. So all the tools were there, right there
Right.
for you. So that was something that that helped you along, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So one more question before we get into your picture, and you already said the weight that you lost. So what do you think were your breakthrough moments, your biggest breakthrough moments? We always talked about takeaways. I know it's similar, but like just the aha, oh my gosh, I got this moment.
Oh, but see, now I told you that the other day, and my memory is shot. But again, one of the big ones was to lift heavier weights.
Yeah. That's a big one. And people are scared. Women are scared to do that.
Yeah.
And as soon as they start doing that, raise a hand. Who here has took that advice and lifted a bit heavier and saw that their body is changing faster, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's a big one, and I can't remember. I know I told you something else. What was it?
Well, I know that your husband had said to you, you said that, what do you got to do? He said, you don't have to do that tonight.
Yeah, he did. And because of my shift work and stuff, I work out at night only. So it's generally 9 o'clock at night. We sit down to watch TV together for an hour, and I'm flopping on the floor, according to him, with my workouts. But that's when I work out, and it's good for me. It works, and he humors me, and that's enough. That's all he's got to do, as he sits there with his Buddha belly and watches the telly. So. But yeah,
so that's another question. I mean, people might have that question for you too. Like, how do you keep going when there's somebody with you at home? And I was in the same situation too, that is not doing it. That's maybe like eating very, not focusing on their nutrition, and they're not active and stuff. And how do you stay in that zone and not want to give up? Like, was there a time that you wanted to give up and just said, oh, screw it?
Well, some of the food, he's a really good cook. He's a really good cook. So I did have to say, I need you, and it was easy, actually. And here's another thing that I was shocked at. It was easy. I can have meat, all the protein I want, and all the vegetables I want. So I really just watched out of the sides. And then I still felt like we were eating as a family.
Good.
And I could still eat his good food. Not so much the lasagnas and all the pastas, but that would be a treat once in a while. And I love that we can have wine on this too, that I learned the switching out of the carb. Yeah. Like to say, if you're having a glass of wine, or 3 or 4, whatever, depends how big the wine is, bottles. But then to switch out a carb or a fat the day before, the day after.
Yeah. And you're a wine drinker. Like, yeah, you love your wine. And that was a topic that came up with us a lot in our coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Was that you loved it. And I said, don't worry about it. Just have it.
Yeah, glass of wine with dinner every night.
For a little bit 1 week, or just kind of stay conscious of it, though. You have to be conscious of it, right? Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's open up for question and answer then. Does anybody have any questions for Pam right now? Anybody? I'm gonna open this gallery view up here. Anybody resonate with some stuff that she went through that you're looking to kind of get through yourself in terms of breakthroughs with the wine or with the lifting? Anybody want to comment? If you have any questions, anybody want to comment on that? Everybody's shy tonight because you don't have wine.
Wine. Speaking of wine, am Am I on? Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hey, hey, Anna.
Hey. Definitely. Hi Pam. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm definitely with Pam on the weight. When I used to work out, I didn't think about that I had to really up my weight. And it's hard. It's tough, right? Like, I got my 30 pounds or my 15 pounds, and then we just got some new weights from Facebook Marketplace, which I got a decent rate, but oh my gosh. But I definitely never ever would up my weight as much as I am now. And they're still lower, but I find myself, I do 1 set, 2 sets, and then I hear your voice. And for the 3rd set, I actually up my weight, even though I'm so tired. And I just feel so much more energized after my workouts. Like that counted. Like that wasn't just, as Pam said, flopping around, which you're not flopping around, but that even that 3rd set, I'm trying to up it, even if it's a little bit, right? And then I definitely have noticed a big change in how quickly my body's changing.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
So do you think that next time you'll up the weight for all 3 rounds? It's about really committing to it, right?
Yeah, it's hard because you don't have the weight choices as you would in the gym, right? So sometimes I do want to up it a bit, but my next weight, I just know it's way too much. So I'm like, okay, I'll stick here, and then, and I do. I look at my weekly, and I always try to go. I'm like, okay, we're gonna push it a bit. Don't do the same as last week. So
do you guys know what's happening when you're increasing your weight like that so drastically? When your body goes into like an adaptation mode always. And I was explaining to this on a coaching call today, but your body's going to adapt so quickly to change. And if you don't adjust that or jig it and challenge your body again, and that's not just with workouts, like that's with your nutrition too. It's just going to adapt, and then nothing's going to happen. Right. So when you're increasing your weight, you're increasing your strength, which is increasing your muscle, which is increasing your energy output, which requires more calories, requires more body fat, more energy that's sitting on your body to consume it, and then that's it's used up, right? So it's because our body is an energy system. So if it doesn't need to use the energy, then it's just gonna dump it in your body. But your body can adapt so quickly. So always thinking about adjusting in some sort of way. And the best way to adjust is through the pyramid form, the progression form with your workouts. But with your nutrition too. Like if you're always eating Monday to Friday, pretty good, but then you're messing up on the weekend, your body kind of gets used to that. And so tighten up one weekend, just go one weekend, tighten up, and suddenly your body will go into like an overdrive. It'll just go, So it's always kind of staying in touch with that you need to keep challenging yourself. Does anybody else have any other questions or comments or anything that they're relating to with Pam's story? I mean, I love when she was talking about the excuses, making excuses about hormones or, okay, I just had a baby. That makes sense. But I mean, 3-6 months down the road when your baby's a little bit older, some people I've been on calls with and they go, oh, I still have my baby weight. Oh, when did you have your child? Oh, 6 years ago. Things like that, right? Because they've made that excuse for actually that long. I have children, I can't. And that is a limiting belief, right? You can still do this with children. Anna, you've got 2 and they just turned a year old and they're twins, and that's tough, but you make it work if this is something that you want to prioritize.
That's great. I loved hearing your story that you were working out with your kids and you had to stop like 10 times and to clean this up and clean that up. And I often find myself you know, their nap times are just so short and I've got to clean and do this and do that.
Yeah.
But then I work out in front of them, and yes, sometimes you have to stop, and they want mommy's weights, and they're, you know, I'm doing bridge and then they're jumping on me. I'm like, all right, well, it's an extra workout.
Yeah, I'll ditch the dumbbell and just lift my daughter and start doing, and she loves it. And I'm like, oh, this is even heavier than the weight that I had. And when I started losing weight too after my third, London was only 4 months old. And so Soleil is 17 months older than her. So she was not even 2 yet. So London's 4 months old. Soleil's not even 2 yet. And then Phoenix is whatever, 6 at the time. And I worked out with them every day, with them running around. I still do. Because I prioritize it, right? So it really depends on how much you want it, and we always talk about the why too. You want to be helpful. You want to show my kids
Shauna,
that this is the way to do it.
I lived off of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I really lived off of this. I think Erica made one that suited her, but just marking down the nutritional tracking made a big difference for me too, because, and using the fist and the palm, and it's so easy, but I still need to see it on paper. And you can tell when you're cheating yourself too, when your carb portion gets bigger, or the thumb becomes bigger, just all that easy stuff too.
Yeah, so
when
like
you make it simple.
If you're tracking it like you do on that piece of paper, then it's right in your forefront of your mind all day long. And that's how I do it too. I track when I'm, you know, trying to get to a goal, and I know it's okay, it's time to like really focus. I have to track. I just tally it just like you. And that's why I made that sheet, right? Because when it's right in front of you, it's visual, and you see it, you're going to adhere to it so much better. And then you can improve on it too. You can say, oh, yesterday, oh, wow, I overate my carbs and my fats. And that's what we want to not do. Great, overeat your protein and your vegetables, but that's the harder part, right? So if you're overeating your carbs and your fats and you're seeing that, you just tighten up a little bit. Okay, now I'm getting on track. Now I'm adhering a little bit better. And now I can see the scale dropping even better, or my body changing more. I feel more energized. I don't feel as sluggish, because a lot of carbs and fats too will make you feel sluggish. They'll make you, because your body doesn't use it as much. It doesn't process it. It doesn't metabolize it as fast, or use it as much as protein and vegetables, or thermogenics. So it will sit and store, and then that's why you'll feel sluggish or brain fog or whatever, right? Your body doesn't use it as much unless you're heavy lifting all the time. So do you mind if I share your photos then?
Sure.
Okay. I was gonna have this on the computer, and you're the one, you said that you like the back shot, right? Yeah, the back one was really good. I'll just show the back one for now, because I think when I compile this together after the recording is done, I'll splice it and put your photo either at the beginning or the end, like all 3 of them. But yeah, you held a lot of weight. Hold on, let me undo this pin here. If I can do this, remove pin, there we go. Okay, so if I'm talking, it should go to me. It's not, is it, guys? Pin, there we go. Okay, so can you guys see that? It's maybe a little bit unclear, but she held a lot of weight in her lower body, a little bit in her back and arms too, but in like what we call the love handles. Can you guys see that okay? No? Oh. Then I'll have to post it. I'll have to post it. When I post this interview, I'll put the pictures at the beginning or the end.
Shauna, you can share your screen.
I know, but I don't have it up.
Okay.
And you can't, the way I have it on the back end through the computer, if it's through the computer, I can't compare them. Like you guys can compare them on your phone. You can't do that on the computer, side by side. So I'll post it in the group tonight, as I always post this meeting in the group. I'll post her pictures tonight as well. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? We have about 8 minutes left. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that we've brought up today or any other questions for Pam. I actually have one more question for you though, Pam.
Okay.
What, maybe we talked about this already. Excuse me for being ignorant if we did, but what was there a time in the program that you wanted to give up though? Was there something, anytime that was really hard, whether it was program wise or whether it was just something that happened in your life or anything that you were like,
I felt like it was long for when I felt like I plateaued, and then you even had a Zoom meeting where you said there's no such thing as plateauing. There's always a reason, and you had gone on about that, and that there went my excuse, and that's when I think I also upped. But I just felt like, okay, you know what, I didn't need 12 weeks. I've got this now. And then just again, the support system, the accountability, and just seeing a little bit of a change. It was like, oh, okay, I think I would have missed that had I just kind of, slithered off.
giving
So
up at that point, right?
yeah,
So you could have, you can get a little bit more benefit and a little bit more.
yeah, just that halfway point where you think, yeah, I had this, I didn't need this longevity of a, it felt like it was too long.
Look up your pictures and maybe post those halfway point pictures too.
Yeah.
And
Good.
see what that difference is in terms
Yeah,
of,
and there was, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
There was.
Mhm.
That's awesome. All right. Anybody have any more questions? We're good today. Okay. Cool. Thanks everybody for popping on, and I hope when any meeting happens or when any guest speaker comes on or somebody that's been through the program already, that's why I really wanted to have Pam on, and I want to have more of you on too when you're done the program, because when it's one thing for me to tell you, do this, do that, trust in the process, trust in your coach. But when you hear it from somebody else who's already been through the program and you say, you know what, she's got struggles, she's got obstacles, she is busy, she's got hormonal stuff going on, she's got age stuff going on, she's got body image stuff going on, excuses, all that stuff. She can get through these obstacles and overcome them and have these breakthroughs as long as she puts in the effort and does the work. She didn't even want to be on the social media at the beginning. She didn't know how to download the app. Like, she was so confused with the app at first. She's like, I'm not good at these things. I'm not good at Facebook. I was like, wait, one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
And you just put in the effort and you said, I'm going to do this because you wanted it. You signed up for it for a reason. And so you did it. You put in 100% effort, even at times where you felt like, meh, you still gave it your all that you could, so that you come out really, really strong at the end. And that's what I loved about you, is that you were so coachable. So thank you. And thank you for coming on here and sharing everybody your story. And I know every single person here has related to you in some sort of way. I know I have. And they can resonate with you, and that will give them hope that this will work for them too. That we need to cut out these limiting beliefs, and that if we just put in the effort and do the things that we need to do every day, we'll get there, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Because you taught me a lot. You taught me a lot. So
good. Good. Share it to the world, because this is the healthiest way that I've learned how to do this along my 20 years of doing this.
Wow.
And so I want to share it and break that dieting culture and break the fear of lifting, break the fear of just surrounding yourself with that actual simplicity. It can be this simple and get results. Everyone makes it so confusing, the dieting industry. Do this, do that, cut out this, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to. You don't have to at all, right? So it's a really freeing method, I find, right?
And supportive, just tons of support, even when you think you don't need it. So
yeah, we do. We all do. I need it.
Yeah.
I need you guys just as much as you need me. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I think we'll cut it off there. Got a couple minutes left. So I'll post this in the group right after it's done doing its thing, and with your pictures and stuff. And so people can have that and they can rewatch it and make use of it. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks, Pam, so much. And thanks for coming,
Thank
everybody.
you. Okay, how do you make this?
Bye.
It's not off.